What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do this look here. We're going to focus on the eyes. I'm using the Urban Decay After Dark palette. This is a new palette from Urban Decay. Came out right before Christmas. You know I had to try it out for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. This eye is already done. We're going to be using the Urban Decay After Dark eye palette for this look. Something I really want to work on for my channel in 2017 is when I'm doing eye looks, trying to stick to one palette, because I feel like especially if you're trying to follow along, it's kind of hard when I'm using 12 different eyeshadows from different palettes. So I'm going to try to keep it to one, maximum two. Alright, so this is what the eye look is starting to look like. I already have my primer on. Let's jump into it. The first shade I'm going to take is Off Duty, and it's like this kind of brownish taupey tone, and I'm doing something a little different here. This definitely is not one of those crazy sparkly eyeshadows, but it's definitely got a shimmer to it. It is more of a satin, and I'm going to go ahead and put this right in the crease. This is such a pretty tone. And I think the reason why I can get away with putting this in the crease, I typically don't put shimmer in the crease because I don't think it's that flattering, but I think because this is more of like a neutral tone to it, that's why we can get away with it for today. So just keep in mind that if you are darker than me, if you are lighter than me, this is definitely going to pop off way darker on you, but for me it works great. And so basically what I did was I'm taking a MAC 224 blending brush, and I started in the center of my crease. Please keep in mind that where you put the shadow initially, that's where you're going to get the most pigmentation. So I'll put it here, and then I just blend it out. So all the way from the inner, all the way out. And I'm not quite doing a rainbow. I'm kind of doing the rainbow motion, but when I get to the outside, I'm just ever so slightly flicking it out, alright? Then next up, we're going to take this shade called Sinful. This is a gold shimmer tone, and I'm actually going to pick up the brush that came with the palette. I like it a lot. And this is going to go in the inner tier, and we're just going to pack it on. I have not used this palette on myself yet. I've used it on a couple of clients so far, and what I'm finding is this is definitely a palette that is all shimmer tones, obviously, but it's one of those palettes where it's going to be great for the lid where you're packing on the color on the eye, just simply because shimmer tones, and it doesn't matter what brand it is, once you start like trying to really blend them out, you begin to lose a lot of the color payoff, so you'll spend the majority of your time packing and blending and packing and blending. So just that's something else to keep in mind. Also, make sure you're using a really good, some sort of eye primer. I use the Kat Von D High Voltage Eye Primer. So I started off in the center, not in the center, I started off on the inside, the inner corner here, and then we're just going to pack that on a little more, about 3/4 the way. And of course, as soon as I start recording, that's when they start mowing the lawn. Alright, next up I'm going to take this blue tone here called Paralyzed, and I'm just going to start by packing this on the outside here. And I'm just following the shape of my eye and just basically filling in that spot. And then not picking up any more pigment, just going to start blending that out. Blending those two together, grabbing the MAC 224 brush again, and just blending that out. Next up, I'm going to take this kind of cranberry tone called Supersonic, and I'm going to take that on my MAC 224 brush, and then I'm just going to put that in the crease just to kind of give me a little bit more depth. Since we already laid down that first color, the Off Duty, it's not going to pop off as warm cranberry-ish. It's just going to give it a little bit more depth. Then just going in with Off Duty again. I'm just basically mixing those two together. Now, because I've lost some pigmentation from the Sinful, the first color, I'm just going to put some on my finger, and we're just going to pat that on. Then I'm going to do the same thing with Paralyzed, just to help blend everything together. Next up, I am going to take my Shea Moisture eyeliner, and I'm just going to line very tightly to my lash line. Then to blend that out, I'm just going to grab an angled brush and just smudge it. This is a Morphe S6. I know they have revamped their brushes. I haven't bought any brushes from them in a minute now, so I don't even know if they still offer this brush, but any densely packed angled brush will work. I take that back. I did use this palette. I used the Lounge Tone in my New Year's Eve look. Then I'm just going to go ahead and prep my lashes. And I'm going to be putting on the Ardell 110 lashes today. Alright guys, I am back through some foundation and bronzer and blush on my face. Let's go ahead and finish up with these eyes. So I'm going to be using this NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk to line my waterline. And I love putting white in the waterline just simply because it really makes you look nice and bright and wide awake, because I stay up really late. I am such a night owl to the point where I will just stay up all night long, like just watching videos, working, reading. And so when I wake up in the morning, I look like a zombie. I look crazy. White pencil and concealer is my best friend. And I'm going to go into the Paralyzed color here. And we're just going to go right here in the, and we're just going to blow this out. Now making sure on the outside that I connect it with the shadow. Then next, going in with Sinful, and you guessed it, that is going right here in the interior tear duct. Then I'm just taking that off-duty color and I am just bringing that right on down here in the inner tear duct just to blend a little bit. Alright guys, so that is going to complete this look using the Urban Decay After Dark eye palette. Couple of thoughts on it. The packaging, I like the way the packaging looks. I think it's really cool, kind of the holographic packaging. However, your fingerprints kind of get all over it. So, I mean, that's not really a make or break, but I can tell, like, when I'm trying to take pictures of it, like, my fingerprints are all over the place. So, and then as far as the shades go, I think these are all very gorgeous shades. Like I mentioned, I think these are going to be best for packing on all over the lid. Just make sure you definitely have an eyeshadow primer on. Do you need this palette? That's going to depend on your preference and your taste in makeup. If you are a makeup enthusiast, makeup lover, makeup artist, yes, you're going to want this palette. Is this the palette for the everyday woman? No. However, I feel like it can be tweaked in your routine if you want, like, for the nighttime or the weekend, like a fun pop of color, just simply because it's not that overly shimmery, chunky glitter type of palette. It's really nice, smooth, shimmery eyeshadow without being way too overpowering. Because I feel like if you look at this palette, and then you look at my eyes, it's kind of like, oh, okay, like this is doable. Alright guys, so that is going to sum up the look. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video.